Yeah.
but it's working out pretty well.
Good to hear,
Yeah.
man. You want to get right into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, man. First question for you here. So, what is what are some of the challenges of speedrunning and being a speedrunner and such?
So the challenges of speedrunning, I would group them into there's technical challenges,
Mm-hmm.
getting equipment, um, because you need a really good controller if you have like a very technical game. You need obviously a capture card if
Mm-hmm.
you're on console. If you're on emulator, then you need a good keyboard. Like a laptop usually isn't good enough. I mean, you could do it, but like if you want to be top level, you have to invest quite a bit of money and you have to go through the Discord and really pick a lot of people's brains
Mm-hmm.
to that's
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that are very helpful, which helps a lot, but
You're
it's
helpful.
taken me a long time. What's that?
Said you're helpful. You helped me before.
I appreciate that.
Anyways, go
Oh
on.
yeah, I feel like um, but that's the nice thing is each game has a Discord which you can find through the speedrun.com website. So that's the first thing I tell people when they learn a game. I said to make the technical aspects easier, get into that Discord, say what version do I need, what equipment do I need, what capture cards do you guys recommend. That's the first challenge.
Yeah.
And using OBS and like learning how to use, because streaming is very important for speedrunning because it helps with verification, doing like live streaming. That's just the technical aspects. And then, of course, there's the challenges of practicing and learning a video game. Doing it efficiently is the most important thing. And that's where you need more equipment almost for like save states and emulators or I have Everdrive. Everdrive is a really good product for multiple Nintendo consoles, for example. Um, and it's all about figuring out, okay, how efficient can I be with my practice? Because like you want to practice things that you know you're gonna need. Like I screwed up 8-1 a lot today. I need to practice that more for my next stream.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe practice the other stuff a little bit less. Time management for practice. So there's technical aspects, there's the getting good, and then there's the actual challenge of doing the runs live. It's a different thing when you're trying to piece it all together because at a high level it's nerves are a big factor when your hands start sweating and you need like a hand towel. I just started using hand towel recently. Your heartbeat, you have to learn to control your breathing
Mm-hmm.
because if your heartbeat gets too high, your vision can get blurry, which is really bad when you have to use visual cues. Um, like jumping on a certain like looking for a tree in the background and you jump on that, for example, or um, audio cues are also important. I like to, for rhythmic things, I use the audio cues of the controller, but a lot of times like if you're doing a level perfectly, like the music will go like da 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 and it's on the da note that you have to do your jump. So there's audio and visual cues. There's so much that goes into making a good speed run. And the main thing that it takes time and it's very easy to get hard on yourself. So there's the mental challenge as well of not like telling yourself that you can't do it because you have to be positive,
Yeah.
even if it's really hard, um, because it is really hard. But the more you think about, the less you can execute. And of course, I'm being very technical and just describing this because Mario One is my current project, and that's extremely technical. I do mostly short runs, but there's another challenge to doing longer runs because you have to manage your sleep schedule around it and like these guys who can do like 12-hour speed runs are very impressive to
Yeah.
me because you have to like plan your whole day around it.
Yeah,
And
no joke.
the longevity and I'm more of a sprinter. I'm a speed run sprinter rather than an endurance speed runner. Um So like that's where all this other stuff comes into play. But like there's all kinds of different challenges and skills that you need to develop if you want to be like a say your speedrun is doing like the 602 Mario challenge, for example. That takes hours upon hours. Um like I'll see the split times on Twitter like 21 hours for this challenge, 22 and it's like I don't know if I can go 21 hours without sleeping. The most I've done is I've done 12-hour streams twice and I planned pretty heavily for that.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I take like 3 hours and I'm like, I'll get some good attempts in and chat with some people. And the main thing is you got to stream regularly, you know. I've obviously taken some breaks and been irregular, but, you know, in general, like being somewhat regular definitely helps your mentality with that.
Yep, I pretty much agree with all that stuff. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, what are some of the good things about speedrunning? Things you enjoy?
So I really enjoy speedrunning as a content medium for live streaming
Hmm.
because if you have a game that has frequent breaks, it's really good for chatting with people. I do my best speedruns when I have people in my chat like talking with me so it like it can keep you distracted.
Hmm.
Or if it's, you know, a quiet chat kind of day, then obviously you know how let's players talk to themselves as they go through. You can't keep it focused on just the game. You have to, you know, there's more to it.
Hmm.
And I think that's one of the fun things about speedrunning is getting to share that with the world. I also really enjoy the people that I've met, not just the viewers and the chatters, but other speedrunners. For the most part, I've had some very good relationships with other speedrunners. Like becoming friends with Andrew G is amazing. Like someone who's as legendary as him, but like on a personal level. Um, you don't have to put that in there, but like in general, like
Hmm.
getting to meet people, it's a very social thing, and you know, I have a kind of a quiet life, so it's nice to throw in a couple hours of socializing. You know, all I got to do is just get the thing set up and turn it on and but it, you know, and it's really fun when you get runs. But you can't have your happiness with speedrunning depend on getting runs because by definition, speedrunning is like mostly mostly failure.
Yeah.
It's by definition, if you're doing PB attempts, which I always do PB attempts, unless I'm doing no resets like 120 star or something. And even then, you know, you're still trying to do a lot of hard things. Um, it's by definition like I've done it's been 5,000 attempts since I PB'd in Mario 1 and it's like so like the next time I PB it's like 1 out of 5,000 like that's like a fraction of a percent of success rate.
Yeah.
So you have to like take the small victories, see the progress, really split each like level or stage or trick, split them all up kind of like golf. Golf and speedrunning, I always said have a lot of things in common. Golf being like if you have one bad hole, you can still have a good round. Um, just forget about the bad hole and think of every hole as a new chance to get a birdie or a par or something nice and string together. Because obviously with Mario One, I there's like not much room for error, but you know if there's the biggest thing that I use for that is I enjoy the best possible time. Like when you use live split, there's this thing with best possible time, and it's like as long as the best possible time is below my PB, I'll keep going.
Hmm.
You know, unless I really unless it's early and I just want to restart. Mario One's a bad example because I only have like or two frame rolls of leeway, with the strats that I know.
Yeah.
Um, and it's very easy to lose both of those. I mean, if you mess up a flagpole glitch, you lose at least two frame rules.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fun of it really is the sense of building a community online and meeting people, and I'm truly blessed to have, you know, a community of people who enjoy watching the streams and chatting with me about, you know, life things and gaming things and gaming news and the main thing is to stay out of drama. I've gotten into some in my past, but I honestly I'm over all of it, and I just putting my best foot forward and trying to stay out of everything because there's really no reason for it. If you want speedrun to be mainstream, you gotta, we all gotta keep that stuff out of it and just, you know, and for the most part, that's what it's become. It's become more and more friendly for everyone.
Yeah. Um, yeah, man. I've met several several people because of speedrunning, you know. I've met
Yeah,
yeah.
I've actually met people in person. I've met a couple of speedrunners and YouTubers in person. One of them I'm really close with. One of them I used to be really close with and am not anymore. But it's interesting in the sense that it brings some personality to it's, when you meet people in person. I've had some people over to my house even that I met through speedrunning.
Mm,
Um, Actually only one, but it's always interesting when it's like, oh, I live pretty close to somebody who is doing the same thing that I'm doing, or like I met somebody in my esports team that was only 3 hours away, and I happened to be there, and he happened to be there, and it's a pretty cool thing. But even just Twitch in general, like with the emotes and with the Pog Champs, it's a really nice community. You've got people, and when you see that username pop up, it's not just another viewer. It's somebody that you become friends with, and you know how they talk. You have like different code words and stuff like that,
mm-hmm.
and it's really nice when you go live. You never know who's gonna pop in. Sometimes you get rated by people, and it's truly an honor to have anyone say, "Hey, I want my viewers to go watch this guy."
Yeah.
Like that is one of the big honor. I don't care if it's a one viewer rate, like that doesn't. If somebody's rating me, like that is, I mean, raids make my day because it's like, holy crap, like they're putting their like like they're putting their people to me. Like I've been rated by a lot of family friendly streamers, even like, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna try not to swear as much, but um things like that, like the raids, the hosts, all that stuff, and meeting
Mm-hmm.
new people join. And I think that one of the inspiring things is even when it seems like someone will disappear for like a year, like I did, or go to do their own thing, it seems like they always come back. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like it's a really fun thing about speedrunning when you see somebody's name pop up that you might have not seen since like 2017, and it's like you're a completely different person, but you still have good memories with that person, and it's truly a blessing. Becoming a Twitch partner is something I never thought I would do.
Yeah.
I got a lot of support that I wasn't expecting, and I still have, that level of support despite taking a whole year off. And it's been a grind, but it's one of those things where the more you enjoy it, the more you're gonna get rewarded, and you know, just
Yeah.
just got to keep grinding.
Yeah, man. I always have when I stream, I always have those same people that show up, you know. I don't have many viewers, but it's it's those people that keep coming back that I really appreciate the most. And
Exactly. I
yeah.
have a lot of lurkers, but like there's the people like Zoe who pops up in chat every time asking about what pants I'm wearing. Like it's an inside thing, and I love it. Getting rated by different streamers who are family friendly too. It's like if I'm good enough for their viewers, that's pretty, like I haven't been rated by some people in a while, but like people like I'd say Abney's pretty family friendly, and he rates me quite a bit. And like Lack Attack, it's like, wow, it's like, I swear a lot. Like,
Mhm.
and it's still, but like I obviously can control. I only swear to like, like R-rated movies can be very entertaining kind of type thing.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I personally don't. I'm starting to realize it doesn't matter too much. Like my little cousin, she's already watched R-rated movies. It's like, it's the
Mhm.
world we live in. It's, but there's a difference between appropriate and really inappropriate, and it's, you know, I feel like I've become a pretty appropriate streamer over the years, and anytime I get rated, a very it's a very big compliment to what I'm trying to do, and it really I've met people, a lot of people that have become mods, even like friends and mods. I met them through other streamers that rated me.
Mm.
Like that's how you get like that's amazing that that decision to raid me or for me to raid someone else, like because it works the same way. If I choose to raid someone that I haven't raided in a while, it's like it feels good in the sense that I get to not only watch them, but also my viewers get to meet someone new because I'm not always on. I don't stream I stream probably what like 15 hours a week maybe.
Yeah.
I don't stream too much even in my off season when I'm not working as much. But that's what it's all about. It's all about the community. And it's really you really got to enjoy your victories
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to speedrunning. Like when you PB, like a lot of times I'm like, I wasn't that good. No, you need to be like Lunar Jump, like
Yeah.
fuck yeah, motherfuckers! Like
Yeah.
we grind and we grind and we grind. Like it needs to be. You need to sell it because when you win in speedrunning, you've earned that shit. Like my next Mario 1 PB, I don't care if it's by a frame or by half a second. I'm gonna enjoy the crap out of that. I came closer today than I have in a while.
Mm. All right, man. Well, so that's some of the pros and cons of speedrunning and such. So why don't we talk about you for a little bit? So what was your first like experience with video games? Just what was it?
So it's funny you ask because I've shared this occasionally on streaming, or excuse me, my stream. As far back as I can remember, I've been playing video games. When I was like even because I was like a very smart like toddler infant, so like I knew how to like turn the computer on and play like software games like Sesame Street or
Mm.
like stuff like that. And my parents also had a couple Nintendos. The NES that I speedrun on is actually my parents' NES. It still works.
Same, dude.
Uh,
Literally.
it's amazing that all these years. But I one of my earliest memories is playing Mario 1 when I was literally just being potty trained because I remember my mom coming in and like I was having fun playing Mario 1 and I didn't want to stop, but my mom's like, "Come on, you got to go to the bathroom." And then I kind of did while I was playing and she got really pissed at me. I was like 3 years old. I couldn't get past the first level, but I remember I remember feeling great when I got past like that first like gap where
Mm-hmm.
right past where the warp pipe is. There's a gap and there's Goombas there, and I remember killing a few Goombas. And I've worked really hard to preserve my memories, but I I've always been a Nintendo gamer. I had an Xbox 360. I had a kind of a Call of Duty phase. Really got addicted to that from like 2008 to 2012. But I've always been a Nintendo gamer. Grew up with a GameCube when it was new. Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion,
Mm.
and it's always been just something fun. Like you go, like I'm an outdoorsman too, but like when I'm inside and it's raining and stuff, like it's just video games are awesome, and Nintendo games really bring joy and nostalgia, and you learn how to strategize. Like I've been playing Zelda since I was little, not as little as Mario. Like I first played Twilight Princess when I was like what 8 years old,
Mm.
yeah, something like that. And I remember thinking like the tutorial, like the town, Orden Village, like I got through it and I'm like, that's got to be the game, right? It was just the first town. Like I'm like, oh my god, there's so much, and like, and that a lot of people felt that way about Ocarina of Time. I was obviously 6 months old when Ocarina came out or something like that, but like Mario, Zelda, Metroid, NES Metroid, played it a lot when I was a little kid. I've got some really like older cousins that would always like say here they'd show me how to like do some cool jumps and stuff, and
Mm.
I've always been interested in doing like skips, mainly like glitches and speedruns.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily speed. I've always been a completionist, but I've always liked to say, how early can I get this item in a Zelda game? Can I get it like before I'm supposed to? Like
Yeah.
Super Metroid's my favorite game of all time, and Super Metroid, I first played it when I was like 10 or 11, and it was that I played it so much that eventually I discovered a lot of sequence breaks on my own.
Mm.
Like getting power bombs early. I'm like, I wonder if you can get up there, and it's like, oh my god, I did it! And that thrill, I feel like you still get it with speedrunning when you can get a skip, um, in a run consistently. It's like wow,
Yeah.
like 3-year-old me would be like pogging his ass off. But I've been mainly a Nintendo gamer. The only other non-Nintendo console I've had was an Xbox 360. I still have it. I don't play it very much though.
Mm.
Mostly I play with my girlfriend a lot now. We love Mario Party. Mario Party 4 through like 7 I grew up with. 1, 2, and 3 I got later.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the Hudson Mario parties, Mario Kart. Um, I've, even like when I don't have any brothers or sisters, but I have cousins, and we would like link up our Game Boys and play Mario Kart against each other. And another one of my earliest memories. So it's it's something I have a huge passion for. So when I found out what speedrunning was, which didn't happen for until many many years later,
Mm-hmm.
um, I was really excited about it. The first I do the first speedrun thing that I've ever like that was an actual was the Mario 3 TAS
Mm.
that my cousin and my mom showed me. It was the Morimoto TAS, which went viral on YouTube back in like 2007.
Oh yeah. I remember
And
that.
I remember thinking that it was a human playing that, doing all those bouncing off of the enemies, and I'm like, and because I thought it was a human, I'm like, wait, this is insane. Like, and there was obviously a lot of people saying cheating, cheating. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people didn't know what TASs were in the general public. But years later, when I found out that it was a TAS, I was like, oh, like that makes sense. It's humans programming a robot to play the game,
Yeah.
but it still got me into like like to where every now and then Andrew G would post a Mario 1 world record or a Mario World, and I'd be like, and then I would be like, wow, that was really cool, but it never was like a part of my life. It was just something entertaining, just like a TV show or anything else. It wasn't until around 2016 that I started watching streamers and like really realized what the speedrun community was. I kind of somehow dodged it for a lot of years. I was a late bloomer, so to speak, in that regard.
Mm. Okay, so
That's why I kind of feel like obligated to try to get as good. I like to get good quickly in games because I'm trying to make up for lost time.
mm-hmm.
So a lot of people know me because like I was like the fastest person to get 456 in Mario 1, or like I got within a month of Mario 3 I got like the final minute barrier. I got Mario World, and like, but it's because I really go all into my projects, and I'm trying to like kind of catch up. Like when I see that like there's people that have been speedrunning since like 2007. It's like, man, I'm like 10 years behind. It's like I gotta make up time, and that's, I suppose, the force behind a lot of my accomplishments in speedrunning that I've had.
All right. Yeah, man. You mentioned that a task was your first exposure. I was the same way. I like I watched tasks before I even knew what speedrunning was. So,
Same, same. It wasn't just the Morimoto, like Super Metroid tasks and stuff like that, where
mm-hmm.
because I used to watch Let's Players all the time when I was like 10 to like 13. Nintendo Capri Sun's my favorite out of all of them, even to this day. It's hard kind of to like go back and watch Let's Players now that I know what speedrunning is.
Yeah.
Um, but like, it was nice that I discovered that before speedrunning, because it kind of made me appreciate speedrunning more, and how difficult it is, and like how artistic it is.
Mm-hmm.
And like watching things happen like in the community, like over time, like Mario 1, when I first got into that, the world record wasn't even a 456 when I started. actually no, it was a 456.8 when I started watching. And like but I remember seeing Andrew G's videos go up 450, 459, 458, 458, 457. I remember when the first 457 dropped, and it's like those times were once considered impossible, and now we have 454s. It's like
Yeah.
the progression of a video game, is very. I really enjoy summoning salt videos. I really want to get into one myself. That's another motivation to try to like get world records and stuff is and there's a couple like I've actually got the records, but he never like went through and made the videos, which was kind of sad, but
Mm.
it's been that's kind of one of my regrets, I guess, but it's still early yet. I'm only 25 years old, so there's a lot of speedrunning stuff I can still accomplish in my lifetime, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you'll make it, man. Um, so,
Appreciate that.
so, so after you saw the tasks and all that, so what was the very first speedrun you remember watching?
Very first human speedrun I remember watching was one of Andrew G's Mario 1 any% world records.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I actually there's a comment on it that I made when I first made my YouTube channel back in like 2011 where I'm like, there's no way this is humanly possible. He's jumping right through the piranha plants. Cheater.
Yeah.
And years later, when I became friends with him, I went back and watched the video, saw the YouTube comment, and I commented again underneath, oh my God, I can't believe I used to be so naive. And but I remember watching it and thinking like he must have turned the hitboxes on certain enemies off because he's jumping right through piranha plants. I never realized like how like a lot of old games have, very
Small hitboxes.
rectangular hitboxes, which doesn't match.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things I didn't know because, like when I used to play with my mom as a kid, she would be like, "Don't even get close to those things. Like they're gonna kill you if you touch them."
Yeah.
So like I never attempted to try to do it. Like I never tried to because like my goal is, I tried not to die, so I wouldn't try a lot of those skips. If
Mm-hmm.
it's something like Mario 64, like I need to do like a triple jump wall kick, that stuff I'd try because, a lot of times if you fail it, you fall down and you try again. But the things that, but anyway, so Andrew G was my first one and Mario 1 any%. Mario 3 was the first one with the TAS. I watched a lot of TASes, Super Metroid, Super Mario World,
Yeah,
before I
yeah.
even knew what speedrunning was. Similar to you. Um, and Twitch, I didn't know what Twitch was until 2014. I created my Twitch account then because I wanted to catch Nintendo Capri Sun's live streams because I was such a fan. I still am, but like I remember the thrill of being able to talk to him in his chat
Yeah.
for the first time. Like, oh my God, he's talking to me while he plays Secret of Mana, like which is one of my favorite Let's Plays of his. And it's like I'm talking to somebody who I really look up to, and it's like,
Yeah.
wow, Twitch is pretty cool. But I pretty much only followed him and like Proton John and like a couple others like back then that I like Let's Players. I never followed anybody in speedrunning because I didn't know speedrun live. I just didn't know about it. I know GDQ videos never popped up on my YouTube feed until like 2016, and it's just one of those things. It's somehow I managed to dodge it for so long, and it wasn't until my first semester of college that I started watching live streams on Twitch.
Mm.
Mario 64 16 star. I found a couple of people. Just it was recommended to me. A couple of people. That was a really big year for Mario 64, the 139 grind and all that stuff.
Yep. So, what was your first speedrun?
So I have a desk down here. I've got a couple pictures. Like I took photo like so when I was a kid, there's a couple games that I was interested in speedrunning, but I didn't before I even knew what speedrunning was.
Mm.
Super Metroid, because Metroid and Super Metroid, have like clocks, like
Mm-hmm.
game in-game time. And I always was like, well, the faster I do it, the Samus is undressing. It's like how like is she gonna be naked if I beat the game in like 30 minutes? Like so that was kind of a motivation for those games is like to see how much I could get her to undress. I know it sounds weird, but like it's like yeah, it's kind of a funny story. But I got a picture of my Super Metroid in-game time PB from like 2000 and hold on, let me check quick. 2012, I got an hour 36, and I was really proud of that.
Wow.
And I have a picture of my Mario 3 TV. Mario 3, this was because, this was a couple years after the Morimoto task that I saw, but like I'm like, I want to try to beat this game fast because it's one of my favorite games. It's my favorite game on the NES. So like I did that in 16 minutes flat. And I know it's an old photo because the picture was taken with a flip phone of my iPod Touch, which I
No
got in
way.
2007. So, yeah, I was really happy with that 16-minute flat. For reference, my PB in that category is now a 10:52, so 10 minutes 52 seconds. So I've since shaved 5 minutes, obviously, off of that since I started doing like serious speedrunning, get in the Discord, learn the strats,
Mm-hmm.
consistency, build consistency however you can. Full That's why a lot of 2D Mario you want to learn as many full jump strats as you can because it's a lot easier than like those pipe jumps I keep dying to in 8-1 are because they're not full jumps. They're like partial jumps followed by a 2-frame window that you have to hit and it's like ugh,
Yeah.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
But so Mario 3, Super Metroid and my first game that I streamed which was late 2017, was Mario 64, 16 star,
Mm.
which seems to be like the gateway speedrun.
Yeah, honestly. Uh, so so you did that, and I know you have a few world records. So, what was the first like world record grind, and did you plan on getting it, or how'd that go?
It's funny you ask because um, another game that I was interested in speedrunning before I kind of knew what speedrunning was Super Monkey Ball
Mm.
because that's got an in-game timer and I've been playing that since I was 3 years old.
Wow.
Um, right, I got it. My first time I played it, I remember I was outside and I was excited to go back in to play it, and I remember my first time playing the beginner levels, and it was like shortly before, or maybe it was during my fourth birthday. I think I got the game maybe for my fourth birthday.
Mm.
Um, but anyway, that was one of the first games I speedrun on Twitch as well. But the first world record grind I did was actually Super Monkey Ball, the mini golf category for 18 holes.
Mm.
I was like, I just was like, I feel like I'm pretty good at this game. Like I'm pretty good at golf games in general, and I'm like, can I get a world record? And I grinded, I several hundred attempts, which isn't a lot for a world record grind, but I eventually got to where I got it, and like I have the video. I could even give you the video. I have the VOD for that. It was the first time I got that record. I was like, oh my god, I got a world record! And I remember Keto was there in chat, and it was it was like really early 2018, I believe, when I got that, and that was the first record that I was grinding for. It wasn't by accident. But it was a shock in the sense that I didn't expect to go that fast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I still have that record to this day, but I've lowered it several times.
Mm.
Yeah,
So,
I've held that for it's a category extension, but I've held that for like 6 years now.
wow, it's pretty good. So, you one of your some of your popular runs are Mario Land. So,
Yeah,
when did
so
you start that?
so I had taken the first grind that I took really seriously was Super Mario Land 2, which I started in June of 2020. And I hadn't streamed in 6 months. I, had a lot of life things going on. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. And then I saw that the record was being beaten by like Odeer and Darbian,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd followed him from previous years. I've been was interested in some of his speedruns, um, similar to like Andrew G and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not really close with Darbian, but like obviously like because of that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've played Mario Land 2 once in my life. It's 2D Mario. Why don't we give it a shot? We've never done 2D Mario. Maybe I'll be good at it.
Mm.
And I started playing Super Mario Land 2 in June of 2020. And in July of 2020, I got the world record for the main category.
Wow.
It put me on the map pretty quickly. I went from having like 200 followers to well over 1,000
Yeah, that'll do it.
in about a month or so because of that. It was a very significant, and I remember like there was a Reddit post where Summoning Salt was considering making a video on that, and I'm like, oh my god, if I get in that,
Mm.
it never got made, but another YouTuber made a made a couple of really good videos on the Mario Land
Storster.
videos that help. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is off the record, but by any chance, do you know? Because like I'm currently banned in Storster's chat. Do you know like how that happened, or I don't know if you're close with them or not.
Uh, no idea.
I don't know what happened. Did
Hmm.
you know I met her? I met her in person once, and it's like I don't know what happened. It's like, damn, thought we were friends, but anyway, that's one relationship I'd hope to repair over the years. But really, couple of really good videos were made on those Mario Land records.
Yeah.
Where were we?
Yeah. Recommend people watching to go ahead and watch those. Those are pretty good. Uh, so let's see. You got those world records, or you got that one.
Right. So July of 2020 is the first time, and I have the VOD for that too. Obviously, it's a record, but like I knew I was capable, but it was a very draining grind, and my mental health was not anywhere near as good as it is now. So it was almost like, you know, I was very dependent on getting those records at the time. It was all I could think about. It was kind of dark in a way, but it was also like very rewarding because I met hundreds of maybe even thousands of people because of the Mario Land 2 grind.
Mm-hmm.
I got rated several times by Darby, and through him I met like Cosmic and other people who some of who I'm close with still, some of who I'm not. Um that I wish I was, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I started getting rated more by a lot of 2D Mario people. And I'm like eventually it got to the point where I'm like the end of the year came. I had a really good world record for Mario Land 2, one of which stood for 2 years. The glitchless any percent category. It stood for 2 years, and it's only been beaten by zero point 0.2 seconds. So it's not like it's been destroyed in this. It's very good, you
Wow.
know. So I was like, I want to move on to another project, and this was November December 2020, and I thought, why not Mario 1?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I can get this good at Mario 1, man, we're freaking gonna get legendary.
Oh yeah.
So, once I figured out I actually had an NES that was like, modded properly to be recorded, that NES I never realized actually had the like the yellow, like the composite cables.
Mm.
Um, it happened to be like that when she bought it back in, because it wasn't like a 1985 Nintendo, it was a 1988 release.
Yeah.
So I got pretty excited. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can do NES speedruns." Like, holy crap. Like there's like tons of NES. It's huge. It's a huge console, huge, like Game Boy's not as popular as NES, and it's like, what if I could like get like a 456?
Mm.
It was a grind. It took me a couple, but like I had my first 456 was about, again, it was about a month after I picked up the game for the first time, which blew everybody's mind, including my own.
Oh yeah. That would blow
I
my
went from
mind.
not being able to do like it was like getting a sub 5 was a grind of its own, but I was so consistent with my streams that Couple hundred attempts, I got sub 5. Couple hundred more, I got 458. Couple hundred more, I got, well, maybe about 1,000 more, I got 457.
Mm.
And then another couple thousand, I got 456. It was just one of those things that I had a lot of help from the top runners learning. Like Nifsky helped me so much with learning flagpole glitch.
Yeah.
Eddie Cat Gaming helped me a ton with that. Even now, like Johnny Boy's helping me a ton with, like it's not stuff you can learn on your own. There's a practice ROM. I got 457 before I even got the practice ROM,
Wow.
which was insane. I actually downloaded like a emulator and stuff like that to practice. But once I had my EverDrive, that was a game changer. Same thing for Mario Land 2. Once I got like as soon as, if you can put a good practice ROM in front of me, or like save states consistent to like where the tricks are, it's like anything can happen. I could get anything if I
Yeah.
put my mind to. I believe that for anybody.
Same.
And it seems 2D Mario seems to be my stuff, and I've been on a quest to become like the 2D Mario GOAT, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I kind of throughout 2021 I did Mario 3, Mario World, not necessarily for record, but very close to record, just to show this isn't a fluke. You know what I mean? Like Mario
Mm-hmm.
Land wasn't a fluke. Like this is a process that can be applied to any game that I have a passion for. And you know, that it was really fun, and I took a year-long break from late 2022 to 2023. Personal reasons. I also had, some like bad like social things happen on Twitch with me, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of I needed to just get away for a while.
Yeah.
Start fresh, and that's kind of where I'm at now. Is I'm coming back to the projects that I like. Not Mario Land 2 I'm pretty satisfied with. I do it more for, but like Mario 1, Mario 64, like
Yeah.
I have unfinished business. I'm trying to set less goals, but make the goals a little bit more grind heavy. That way, quality over quantity type thing. I feel like I've proven myself
Oh yeah.
pretty well with a lot of games.
You definitely have, man. I'll tell you that. Uh.
Thank you. It's been a really good grind, and I'm trying to take it everything into perspective and realize that I'm still, pretty young, and I really still haven't put my best foot forward yet. I haven't even reached like my final form kind of
Mm-hmm.
type thing. So like if I were to clean up a few things and just positive mental attitude, take care of myself, like I feel like there's a lot more things like this year for my goals, 2024, I want to do Mario 1, um Mario 64, and I want to learn Kaizo. I want to be a Kaizo streamer,
Mm-hmm.
Kaizo Mario World, that kind of stuff. I want to be a Kaizo goat as well. Like that's 2D Mario, but like it's not something Mario World's the one I've had the least amount of experience with really, and even in the speed run I've got a really good any percent time, but like like that put
Yeah.
me on the map for that, but like it's nothing like I did with Mario 1 or Mario Land 2 or Mario Land 1. That was a big one. My favorite world record I ever got was Mario Land 1 any percent. Um I can't believe I went this entire call without talking about it, but it was late 2020. It was before it was after I had, done a lot in Mario Land 2. I had the setup working for, the Super Game Boy 2 and the SNES, so I had a nice setup for Game Boy games, and I'm like, I grew up with Mario Land 1 more than Land 2, so I'm like, I'm interested. Can I get this record too? Because it had been like 9 years or 7 years since somebody had both Land 1 and Land 2 at
Mm.
the same time, and a couple thousand attempts, or I don't even know if it was. I think it was. I got it really quickly because I fluked only my second time getting the optimal RNG. I actually fluked it and came up with my own strat that saved half a second in 4-2, which was the difference between my 12:24 and the previous record.
Mm.
Um, and that world record stood for 2 years before being beaten by Ape, who was the person who I had previously taken the record from.
Mm.
and the
Interesting.
current record stands at a high 12:21. So it's one of those things where wasn't a perfect run, but it was pretty perfect at the time, and
Mm-hmm.
that's probably the run I'm most proud of because it's one of those runs that you have to grind for RNG and it clutched it out. I'm just like, holy crap! Like I just like I was not that was one where I was not expecting to get world record,
Yeah.
and I realized I was on pace into the final level, and I clutched the hell out of the boss fight, which could easily have went wrong.
Mm.
So that was a big one. Mario Land 1 was a really big. I think I earned Cosmic's respect when I posted that one, which was really cool
Mm.
because I obviously look up to him a lot too. But
Me too,
yeah, it
man.
was just one of those things where that was a big one too.
Yeah, yeah, myself. So you're trying to, you know, get a name for yourself for uh 2D Mario, but uh funnily enough, I'm actually trying to do a similar thing. I'm trying to have a run in every mainline Mario game. That's like my ultimate goal. So, trying to do
It's a really
that.
good goal.
Yeah, yeah. No one's ever like actually submitted a run on speedrun.com for every single game, so I'm trying to do that. The closest is I think Odame, uh, and
Yes.
he's done all but the Mario Land games. So I'll try to do
Yeah. Uh, Odme is I think it's pronounced Odme, right?
I think so.
I watch him a lot, and he's one of the most impressive speedrunners that impresses me the most because he also can do those longer runs,
Mm-hmm.
like at high level and like being able to learn all those games at high level. It's really impressive. It takes a lot of dedication, and you really have to have your craft fine tuned to to a very very thin point because it's
Mm-hmm.
like you need to optimize your practice. You need to optimize you got to have a lot of technology and knowledge of technology. Got to get a little bit lucky too,
Mm-hmm.
like with getting the right controller, the right this, because if you're going to be doing all those games, it's like I can't imagine like doing that many games because like 3D Mario to me, it's too complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's less, like it's not that it's too complicated. It's just that I feel like it's very hard to learn multiple Mario games at the level that he's learned
Mm-hmm.
3D Mario games at. It's hard enough to learn 2D Mario, but at least with that, I feel like I have a good system down
Mm-hmm.
with how to learn a new game, and I've got a really good system that I like. I make the save states, I watch like beginner runs, I learn the physics, and
Yeah.
the I haven't had as much time lately to grind, but so I haven't been improving as quickly, but like I feel like I at this point like it's really all about the streams and interacting with people. It's always been about that. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to meet more people and but I feel like I've made a decent name for myself at this point and it's about kind of going forward with what great things that I have in that regard.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm not looking to be like the biggest streamer on Twitch or anything, but it's for speedrunning I like to have my own community and explore new projects and just be able to do things that I love and that's fortunately I've been able to do that
Yeah.
and Mario 1 is my current project which it seems in general seems to be it's tricky but it's like because it's very reset heavy but it's
Yeah.
also good for that's good it's a sword that has a healing end like being able to interact with people a lot because it's pretty chill, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But like still be able to get like intense when you get on a run. Like today I got bullet bill glitch on pace and I was like, "Oh yeah, let's go." And that's the only time I minimized chat and
Mm-hmm.
of course I died immediately after, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. One of the hardest things for me. So I've done all I've done SMB1, SMB2, SMB3, SMW. I've done Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Just did that. I have done.
Oh, nice.
I've done one star Mario 64. Trying to do more of that later on. But yeah,
Nice.
some of
Yeah,
the hardest.
That's a really hard category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of the hardest things are like doing super long runs. Like Mario Wonder is 2.5 hours, but I'm used to, 10 minutes from
Me
SME
too.
2J and stuff. So,
Big
yeah.
time, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a short, like, to me a long speed run is anything over an hour,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
when I only have 3 hours or 4 hours, I can do streams at a time. Like if I'm doing 120 star and like each run takes me 2 hours, it's like it's hard to be motivated to like grind something like that because like I know I'm gonna have anytime I have to commit myself to like the next 2 hours, I might get one finished run or something. Whereas Mario 1, I could power on, I could do a 1 hour stream and still maybe any given 5 minutes something can happen, or
Mm-hmm.
if it's a 30-minute category, it's not too bad. I got the D4 warpless record. That was a big one that I got too. I forgot that was for lost levels. I got the all stages for the lost levels record. Cosmic and I went back and forth with that a little bit.
Remember
Broke
that
the
one.
broke the minute barrier, and that is about a 35, 36 minute run. And to me, that was that's like the golden length. It's
Mm-hmm.
long enough to where you can kind of get some action in, but it's like it's not maddening, but it's also like if I have to pee, I don't have to worry about
Yeah.
like 120 star. I sometimes I'll just stop to go pee.
Yeah.
Like I did that the other day in THI because I was so far ahead. I'm like, I can go pee and come back and still PB, which I did. Funny enough,
Wow.
but my
Uh,
PB is not very impressive in that though.
mm. Well, you're working on it, so
Little
yeah.
by little.
Yep. Well, I forgot to mention, by the way, I've done New Super Mario Bros. Wii and U Deluxe as well. So I've just
Oh, nice.
got a few more games to go. I've got both the Galaxies. I've got Sunshine, Odyssey. Um, so yeah, I've got a few. I'm looking to do three mainline, or no, not mainline, three categories per game. Forgot to mention that too. So not
I
just
feel like
one
that's the golden number. You've got like your 100%, your any percent, and then your
warpless.
glitch category kind of
Mm-hmm.
or warpless. Yeah, yep. Because any percent would be any percent warpless. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mario 3. There's three categories that I like, and I got my goal in two. I've reached my goal in warpless. I got a 51, which is really good, and then
Mm,
I got a uh, sub 11 for the warps, and then for the 100%, I've got a pretty decent time. But it's like if I were to do Mario 3 again, I'd probably do 100%.
yeah.
It's a little bit longer of a category, but it's not too long. It's like an hour and 20 minutes set on a on a slower run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's better than warpless with like Hammer Bro RNG and all that. Oh,
Yeah, that's why I like 100%. But in the sense of all the extra auto scrollers, it can get a little bit,
yeah.
But I like auto scrollers because it gives me time to chat with people and
Mm-hmm.
just it feels like I'm playing the game like I'm a kid again, kind of just hopping around, doing jumps off of things and getting coins.
Yeah. So,
But
let's see. Talked about your records. Is there any other records you got after Mario Land?
we talked about D4. So Mario Land glitch list was like the first Mario record I ever got. I actually got the All Signs World Record, which is a category extension for Mario 64. I got that back in 2018.
Mm,
Um, Mainly because I was on the fastest version and they didn't really that one it was I mean I did route. That was the first time I really tried to route stuff and but it only took me a couple hundred attempts. It wasn't like a grind
yeah.
like Mario Land 2.
Mm-hmm.
After Mario Land 2, I got the 100% for that game for Mario Land 2. I got the any percent for Mario Land 1, D4 warpless. Um I got the record for a couple of category extensions for Mario 2
Mm-hmm.
USA. Obviously, I got the D4 Warpless is 2J. I got the world record for some ROM hacks, some Kaizo hacks of like Kaizo for Mario 2.
Mm-hmm.
But
Subcon. Return to
Subcon,
Subcon.
yep, Return to Subcon. That was something I routed a lot, and that I couldn't believe how fast I got at that game. Because like originally when I was starting, I'm like, I think this is the time that I could get, and then my sum of best ended up getting like a minute lower than that. It was crazy.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, it
So,
was it was it was really fun. That's another, I used to be kind of closer with Glitch. I haven't talked to Glitch Cat in a while, but I think that's a really good ROM hack. And like I said, I want to get into more Kaizo Mario World stuff or Kaizo Mario 3. Um, there's a couple hacks that I've played that are really fun.
yeah, me myself, I've tried. There's a hack called Baron of Shell. You might have heard of it. Really hard.
Oh, yeah, I never played it.
Yeah, but I tried to beat it, and no, can't do it. There's this one level where you have to like do press buttons while you're shell jumping, like press the L and R while you're shell jumping to lower things, and it's really difficult.
Yeah, I don't even know how to shell jump, really. I haven't really. The first Mario World Kaizo hack I'm gonna do is learn to Kaizo,
Mm-hmm.
which is really nice because that's like a. I'm just gonna do that to learn, and
Yeah.
then because that's how you got to start. You got to start. You can't. Some people can throw themselves in, but you're gonna burn yourself out if like it's like the people that try to like learn Mario 1, they learn flagpole glitch before they learn pipe jumps. It's like
Mm-hmm.
or like just like the it's just I mean, I can understand why that's fun to do that, but like I'm an RTA guy. I like to work my way down to the times that I get,
Mm-hmm.
little by little. Kind of like, for you, it would be great to just to focus on one game at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're trying to do like three games at once, you're gonna burn yourself out. But like it seems like you have a good list of how which games you want to do next and stuff like that. So that's not a you even know how many categories you want to do. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
You get that all set up.
Yeah, I actually have like a schedule, um, just a list of what to do in order, and it's just it doesn't have every category I want to do ever, but it's like a lot, and it's not even like half the stuff I want to do in the long run. Uh, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I want to try that I can't think about all of it at once because I know I won't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like Donkey Kong high score attempts. That's something I want to do. Oh, I forgot. I think in 2021 I got the first Mario Bros. I got the world record for the high score.
Mm-hmm.
I beat out a couple people for that, including Andrew G. Who
Nice.
was the one who inspired me to do high score runs and obviously routed everything and set a good standard for that category. But I remember getting that and thinking like I remember thinking it wouldn't be possible, and like as I kept getting closer and closer, I'm like, oh, maybe, and then I got on a pretty good score pace, and because that's one where you have to like go fast, but you also have to like execute a lot of tech things that like get you thousands of points that you normally wouldn't be able to get easily.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain stages where it's like you get to this stage, you got one shot, you got to get the 8,000 point shell kick,
Mm-hmm.
and Twin Galaxies has rules for like you can't just like kick a shell into the corner over and over again or like there's some good rules. It's a pretty good rule set. It's arbitrary, but it's pretty nice, and I think it makes Mario 1 score runs really fun. But that's another record I got there's like when Twin Galaxies posted my record on Facebook, like I got thousands of likes and stuff, which was really cool.
Mm, nice. So we were talking about ROM hacks at first. Kind of got sidetracked, but I was gonna say, uh, actually, the way I started out learning Kaizo was on Mario Maker. Actually, there was a level where you had to shell jump, and you could just like do it over and over. You could take as many tries as you wanted, and
Okay.
the level to practice on. Anyways, I just practiced and practiced until I did it, and then it just went on from there. Like I learned how to spring jump, do a bunch of all the tricks. Um, and how I got my name is actually from key switch jumping, but that's a whole other story. But yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I played Kaizo levels on Mario Maker all the time. That was like my thing before I started speedrunning myself. Mm, and
That
yeah.
was a thing for me too, but I never like it wasn't like I did a lot of Mario Maker stuff. I feel like that got me into that gave me that extra like it refreshed my love for 2D Mario.
Mm-hmm.
I never really did too many Kaizo levels. Like I did do expert and stuff, but like a lot of time like I only had Mario Maker 1. I never got Mario Maker 2, believe it or not. um I don't know how I went my whole life without it, but it's.
Mm. Yeah, I think the 60 something if or no 50 something if highest ranked maker in that game, which I just love. I just love Mario Maker 2. Uh, Probably my
Wow.
favorite game. Yeah, my levels just got really popular, and they were sort of a Kaizo, but they were easy Kaizo, like no shell jumping, just pure hard platforming. Uh, some
I
maps.
like that. I like Kaizo's that like there's this Mario 3 hack, get up, get out, get good that really utilizes all the power-ups more even than it makes you like for a fan of the original game, it like really like same thing with Subcon. It really gets Mario 2U's full physics involved
Hmm.
and stuff that you didn't know you could even do.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, that's about how I started that. Let's see. So, what do you want to do for the future of? You've already talked about this a little bit, but go over it again. Like after after 120, what do you want to do?
120 what?
After 120 star, what do you want? Or I don't know. What do you want to do next?
Oh, so this, I'm not really too interested. I'm more interested in 70 star for Mario 64.
Mm,
My current, like I said, my current goals are Mario 1, Mario 64, probably in that order.
yeah,
I'd like to learn some Kaizo and then do some Kaizo speedruns, kind of like Grand Pooh Bear or Carl Sagan, that
yeah.
kind of stuff. I'd like to be I'd like to get competitive with those guys and in a friendly way, of course, but I think that would make for some really good streaming content. And I feel like Kaizo, like, being a 2D Mario specialist, I feel like that's something I need to tap into. And um, I've got other lot of life things, but like as a hobby, I feel like that's kind of where I'm going with it. There's other games and stuff I want to try. Like I said, DK high score attempts. Um, but that's another like 2 hour kind of run. I'm a much I can't go 2 hours without peeing, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I'm not an endurance speedrunner. I'm a high level go completely insane and do a bunch of stuff and finish in like less than an hour and pop off kind of speedrunner.
Yeah. Um, so in order to uh do a speedrun for every Mario game, I will someday have to do Mario Galaxy, which will be fun because that's like 3+ hours, which actually I've done before. Mario Maker 2 is a Mario Maker 2 speedrun. I've done 3.5 hours, and ooh, that was pretty tough. Uh, especially,
Yeah, I'd
especially
like to get
because, especially because I needed to
I'd
be.
like to do some longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like from needing to pee like or I have to like it takes me a minute. Like I lose a minute every time I have to go pee.
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
but it is what it is, but like I don't really have the time. Like I have like a fairly like regular scheduled kind of life, so it's not like I have nothing but time on my hands. I have other
Yeah.
things like like I have a girlfriend now that I met her around the time I stopped streaming in 2022, and then for great reason. She's amazing, and doing stuff with her, and I now that she lives with me, it's a little easier to stream
Mm-hmm.
in my new room rather than having to drive a couple hours to visit her and vice versa. And um but I have it's just streaming is it's not like my number one priority. But like I have a really good community and people that I enjoy streaming for, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect myself to ever get to be like where I'm doing it full time. But if for whatever reason that opportunity comes a knocking, um, then I would want to have like a YouTube editor and stuff like that, and daily like highlights and stuff like that, because like there's a lot of stuff that happens in my stream that gets lost because it doesn't get highlighted, and it's amazing. Like the people who are there, they're like, remember that time like you you got chucked off the mountain in Mario 64, and it's like, yeah, I remember that happened yesterday. And it's like, there's just so much stuff. I feel like I have a lot of good one-liners and stuff. I feel like just my personality, I feel like provides a lot of the content. Sometimes, I get burnt out and I don't have too much to offer, but there's other times that I do, and it's really fun to do that.
Yeah, so let's see. So let's talk about some of your other speedruns real quick. So just how about Mario 2? You done 2U, right? It's on your profile
Yes,
picture. I do have done it.
that's so that profile picture, that's actually a trick in Mario 2 where if you throw two sniffets or two enemies of any kind against a wall, Toad can pick up and throw really fast, so he can do this glitch really easily,
Mm-hmm.
compared to some of the other guys. But you can get them to where they collide, and for whatever reason they levitate towards the ceiling. So you could actually use that to skip like jumps that you normally couldn't make with Toad. You could just chuck a couple enemies and hop on, and it looks really swag. Like Toad's like walking all over them. And
Mm.
Mario 2U is really cool. I love Cool Kid. I love Ethan RTA, Kurt's new brand, and all of the main players of Mario 2 that have really developed a sense of community. I grinded any percent a lot. My goal was to bop Darbian, which I did. Um,
You
my
did do
goal for
that.
every category Mario 2D Mario's, I feel like that's the standard to be in. I've done it for every single one, every single game that I you know wanted to like to do that in, to
Mm-hmm.
get those. That to me is high level. If you can do that, if you can beat him, that's high level. And I've done that in all of the games, so I did that for any percent. But with Mario 2U, I fell in love with it, and I did a lot of all levels.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got top five in that, or top three at the time. I was really happy with that run and my progress with that run. I did a lot of category extensions. Some of my world records I got were, and still are, category extensions in Mario 2U, like where you have to use each character four times or something like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
I got really good at using all the different characters and all their little quirks and physics, and it's a really good game. I know Andrew, Andrew G is interested when he gets more time to do Mario 2U and explore that game more, which is a good sign because that's a game that has a lot to offer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really colorful and fun. And I haven't done it in a while, so the rust kind of scares me. But earlier today I did some like some ladder jumps because I was testing out my new D-pad, and it was working pretty well,
Mm.
which was a good sign for not having
Uh,
played in 2 years.
yeah. So I've got to ask this. How did you get your name?
My name
Yep, Adam Ferrari. How'd you get it?
from birth.
That's your birth name, man?
Yep,
Wow, actually,
it's just my name.
you got
I originally it was my username as well, but I put a 64 at the end because 64 is my lucky number, and then obviously like the Nintendo 64. I'm a math guy, like a math person, so like I love that 64 is like a power of two, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But when I became partner on Twitch, to increase my exposure, I just got the, I submitted a request to get rid of the. I wanted to just be Adam, but I'm glad I kept the Ferrari in there because um, it's like a running joke. A lot of times I'll say, like, oh, I'm a fan of speed. Ferrari's a fast car, but it's also my name, so it works out. It's like a natural. It's like speed. It's like in my DNA because of that.
Man, I actually thought you got the name from the car or something. Like I figured Adam was your
Well,
was your first name, but not Ferrari.
my mail line route, which is traditionally how you get your last name, is it goes all the way. It just goes back to the same part of Italy where uh, the Enzo Ferrari
Hmm.
goes to. So we're probably like 10th cousins or something like that. So it just happens to be we're part of the same big Ferrari Ferrara family. There's a lot of it all goes back to Italy because the Romans the Pharaoh clan, Ferr, that's where you get iron. It means iron,
Hmm.
ironwork. Like it's like like steel kind of, because that's where you get on the periodic table Fe.
Iron, yeah.
That's iron because it's ferrous, and that's where Ferrari comes from. It's to show it's like a strong. It's a strong name. It's supposed to be like strength, like iron.
Hmm. Very interesting. I didn't know
But
that.
yeah, I in school we had to do like some coat of arms projects and stuff like that. So I did some research, and I'm a genealogy, like I'm passionate about genealogy, so I've done a lot of research into that, and like
Hmm.
to figure out who my like great grandparents are and beyond that. Like I know my great great grandpa was the first over from Italy, for example, from that side of my family.
Hmm.
Um, I usually don't. I'm not very public. I don't tell people it's my name because I kind of like people thinking it's just a cool like nickname. But yeah, I mean I don't really care if it's out there or not. You know it's it's kind of cool that it doubles as that. If anything, because like I'll be on stream and they'll ask, and sometimes I'll lie, sometimes I won't. I'll be like, yeah, no, I'm just a fan of the car and it's fast and I'm a speedrunner, and but
Hmm.
other times I'll be like, yeah, no, that's actually just my name.
That's cool. You're not
But
lying
that
to
the
me,
truth
are
is,
you?
it is. No, that it is my name.
I'm messing with you. All right. Well, I think we covered pretty much everything. Would you agree?
Yeah, if I answered all your questions, I feel like I've talked most about my speedruns, my methods. It all starts, like I said, you get in the Discord, you pick people's brains, you get the equipment you need, and it's rough beginnings, but once you get a setup for each console, you're like really ready to go and learn as much as you can. And you know what I mean? Like once I had my NES setup, it's like Mario 1, 2, and 3, boom, 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 back to
Mm-hmm.
back to back. Or technically 1, 3, 2. I did them out of order, but yeah, it was you really just you go in, you make your practice efficient. A lot of people like just free running stuff, and that's good for learning physics, but once you've got the physics mastered, you want to make sure you practice like Mario 64, you practice the 100 coins a lot.
Yeah.
Like you practice the stuff that's going to give you the most trouble. Try to build mastery. That's what it's all about. Like I said, today I screwed up 8-1 a lot more than I wanted, so I'm going to go back in and try to build some mastery there. Lunar Jump always says you get something 10 times in a row, you've mastered it, kind of type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, flagpole glitches I've done 6 times in a row, but that's kind of an exception. But like, if you really grind, you can get things 10 times in a row, and it's really just all about building confidence, building mastery, and you got to believe in yourself, and don't what Zoe says is you don't want to be hard on yourself when you make mistakes, because all speedrunners make mistakes. That's literally what speedrunners are known for, is making mistakes.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect.
Very much.
Like unless you're like Green Sweegee's 16-star run or Nifsky's Mario 1 run, then nobody's perfect.
Yeah. Well,
Those runs are
man.
kind of perfect, but.
Yeah. Well, man. Think we've think we've got it, man. Last question. Last question. What's your favorite snack?
My favorite snack? Oh gosh. I love bananas. I love
Bananas.
banana. That's why I've also done a lot of Super Monkey Ball. I've actually got some Mario. I didn't mention, but I have the world record for the fastest completion of the beginner difficulty for Monkey Ball 1 for all levels. I've
Mm.
got a couple. So that was a couple things that I grinded that was actually a grind, but it's funny because like I never used to really like bananas, and then I Monkey Ball, like you collect them is like it's your like you get extra lives if you collect enough, and it's like, oh, maybe they're good.
Mm.
That it's like with Popeye getting me into spinach. It's like Monkey Ball got me into bananas, and my favorite snack is actually a banana. I love, but they can fill you up a little bit. I'm a huge granola bar kind of guy. I like, snack. Not to be like The Simpsons, like with the power sauce bars, but like I really like having a couple snack bars on my person at all time. It helps me get through my work days and stuff too, because you're not you when you're hungry. It's
Mm-hmm.
Snickers taught me that at a young age. But
Oh, one last thing I forgot to ask. Have you ever been to a GDQ? I'm sure you have, right?
I've never been to a speedrunning event in person.
Mm.
I I have performed several times on the GDQ channel, including Awesome Games Done Quick 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I did a Mario Land 2 race with Oh Dear and Ape, and we did that, and we got interviewed, and a lot of my people I went to high school with were like, "Why is Adam on a?" Like I saw on Twitter, "Why is Ferrari on a stream with like 90,000 viewers?" And it's like I kind of gained a lot of respect from like people like locally through my speedruns, which is crazy. Like,
Mm.
when it hits home like that, like my cousin was watching me the other day.
Yeah.
But anyway, I that was a virtual because of COVID, so that's the only one I've participated in. But I've done a lot of hot fixes, Mario 2 and I think I've done some Kirby and stuff like that. Games that I like, I've done on GDQ hot fixes. I haven't submitted in a long time because I haven't had the time really to but that's always fun because it gets you out there.
Mm-hmm.
You usually get only a couple new followers here and there from doing those things, but it's nice because you can bring the entertainment of your stream to a wider audience, and
Yeah.
I enjoy doing hot fixes. I probably should submit. I mean, right now I'm not doing anything I think is hot fix worthy, kind of thing. But like
Mm-hmm.
eventually when I start doing Kaizo, like that can go on. That's like perfect, like you got like a
Mm-hmm.
30-minute speed run that could fill the bill, But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I've never been to Pace either. I've only met two speedrunners in real life, three technically. Uh and they were all like one on one. I only met them one at a time. It was just people that live close to me,
Mm.
relatively speaking.
Hey, so funny question. What is a hot fix? I don't even like. So I know about it, but why is it? What's
Oh,
special about it?
it's the name of so GD Games Done Quick does content all the time. It's not just during their marathons. They have shows, like mini shows where
Oh,
the
okay.
organizers, like they have their shows, like ADEF does it, and it's like you have different themes for each show, like grudge match, like a race
Mm.
between two people who you make it salty and stuff like that. Like even though they really like each other, it's um the most of the hot fixes I've done were glitch related speed runs. Like
Yeah.
Mario 2, I would show off. I would do like I actually at a GDQ hotfix, you only get one shot, and it's like I did some very risky glitches in Mario 2 several times. I've pulled them off on games done quick, so I've like some of the Ron warps that can like ruin your run.
Mm.
Like I was gutsy enough to go for them, and I'm glad I did because pulling those things off, in front of thousands of people is always a thrilling experience, and it shows. Like, who knows? You might get somebody into speedrunning for the first time.
Yeah, you might become the new Andrew G. You never know.
Yeah, that's kind of like, and Andrew and I are really close. Close friends. We've beyond just like I could see myself meeting him and doing like 2P1C runs one day,
Mm-hmm.
um, which would be a thrill. Like I said, he's first speed run I saw was one of his Mario runs, and that wasn't a task, of course. And but yeah, like I'm not trying to I'm trying to be the best that I can be. Obviously, I'm not trying to be anybody else or beat
Mm-hmm.
anybody else. I'm just trying to I do want to be the 2D Mario GOAT one day, but like if I end up being like I wouldn't mind being second or third in that list either.
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah, you've got some
it's not
competition.
about that.
Yeah.
Plenty, yeah. Nifsky's obviously up there too. I mean, he might even have that title right now. I feel like so.
Um, well, not really, because he only does SMB1, SMB2.
True,
That's it. Um,
true.
I've
I feel like no, it's like what I love about Andrew G is that he's a lifelong Nintendo gamer like me, so we relate on a lot of things like personality wise, and
hmm
it's really it's cool just to like connect with people online and like to know this guy who had pretty much every record at one point or another in Mario, like I'm I've got a similar personality and we get along well. Like it's very motivating and makes me want to do more things like he has done. And yeah, it's a good feeling. And the meeting people in the community is just awesome.
yep. And about live events, I've never actually been to one. I would like to go one day, but I mean, I'm probably not old enough to be honest, but I will be. Not too far
Oh
away.
yeah, no, that's one of the things that can be tricky sometimes with speedrunning is I mean it's at the point where there's generational gaps,
Mm-hmm.
which can create some rifts in the communities and stuff, but I try my best to get along with everyone of all ages. And like I feel like I'm kind of not I'm kind of without a generation. I feel like I relate to all kinds of different generations and different, I feel like I said, like I feel like I relate well to some of the newest speedrunners, but also to some of the first speedrunners as well. It's or even beyond, like even like the old classic high school, or excuse me, the old school arcade high
Mm-hmm.
score record people.
Mm.
Like so that's I feel like in general it's very one of the fun things is meeting people of all ages, and it kind of speedrunning is kind of a melting pot in that regard.
Mm-hmm. So, you said you're 25? 25? Is that right? What?
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm 9 years younger than you.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Wait, so what's I can't I can't believe you're 16. I thought you were older than that. That's
No,
awesome.
no. Still, I'm a
I've
junior in high school.
holy crap. I couldn't imagine doing speedrunning in high school. I
Dude, I
like
started
that
in
the amount of
middle
time
school.
management.
I started in 2017. So that
I
would
always wanted to be a Let's Player when I was like 10, 11, 12, but my lack of understanding with capture cards and technology and all that, I never really pushed myself to do that. I kind of wish I did, but I'm also glad that I didn't at a younger age because I feel like it would have been too much for me at the time.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and I did Kaizo, what I was talking to you about earlier with the shell jumps and stuff. I did that when I was 8. Uh, I was only 8 years old.
Wow, you're like a prodigy then.
I
I always thought you were much older.
I guess I don't know, but
And it's crazy. Andrew G started when he was 13.
mm,
He's he's 34 now, but like he started when he was 30. He just turned 34, but like so he's still young. Like he's younger now. Andrew G's younger now than Darbian was when Darbian first got the Mario 1 world record, which is crazy.
wow.
Like a lot of times I'll be, it's like, he's talking to like imagine having 20 plus years experience but still being less than 35.
Yeah,
Like that's great. That's like Paul McCartney being 80 years old, but he's been, you know, 60 plus years he's been doing this. So,
yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, I was kind of an early goer, but I've wanted to speedrun since I was like 6, man. I was really young, and
That's amazing. That's so you would have been that would have been about 10 years ago, which would have been what 2013, 2014.
hmm
Yeah, that makes sense. You got it. So even though you were born 9 years later than me, you still really you got into speedrunning quicker than I did.
yeah.
That
uh,
that puts things into perspective. I always felt like I was kind of a late bloomer in that regard, but
I was kind of held back by by weather of all things. My house got flooded a few times and kind of set me back on getting capture cards and stuff like that. So, but I did. Got all that now. I'm set up. Right now, I'm set up. I'm good now.
that's like once you get set, it I'm sorry that you went through all that. It's good to know that you're set up now, and I could see you being goated yourself. I feel like I mean, you're learning from the master here. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're
But
not
it,
wrong.
but everything I learned was from people like Andrew G and stuff. So it's like and Cosmic and stuff like that. So like it's like that's what really speedrunning is. You get on somebody's shoulders and they get on your shoulder. Somebody else gets on your shoulders, and the more that's it's really good because that's how you get growth in the speedrunning community. I love like when I've seen people like when I did Mario Land 2 and people are like, I want to do that. Like that was awesome. Like it's to see people I've never been an influencer in my life, even at I'm not super influential, but like even at a small scale, it means a lot to be an influencer at the in the way that I have been. I'm very grateful for that.
hmm Yeah, it's like me with Mario Maker 2 and people supporting my uh levels, you know. Kind of like that.
That's amazing. Honestly, like one of my favorite things when I was like really young was doing Super Mario Flash,
Mm,
like making my own levels
yeah.
and sending them to my cousins for them to play. Like that was like my first experience with level making and like stuff like that. And I feel like I had the passions ever since I was a kid, but I never thought to take it like that extra step, until
hmm
I was an adult.
Uh, well, I think we've pretty much done everything here, so want to talk about anything else or
Um, I think we're good. If there's a YouTube video or something you're doing, like if you need, like I could send you some of my VODs or clips. I feel like that would you could kind of piece together a story or a video or something. If you want to do that, I could um make it easier for you, give you like timestamps and stuff, so make the editing process easier. Um,
hmm, I appreciate it. Probably won't
oh yeah, anything.
probably
I'm
won't do
not sure
anything
exactly what.
too complicated. Yeah, probably nothing complicated, but we'll see.
Hey, whatever you want to do, as long as I can help, and I feel like I talk a lot, so I've probably given you plenty of stuff to sort through.
Oh yeah, yeah. You've told you got the full picture. We know who you are now. All
And I
right,
got to
well,
know more about you too, which was really cool. Thank you. I appreciate that.
yeah, yeah, no problem, man. Uh, 20 years from now, I wonder where we'll be.
It's always interesting when like to look back at old Discord messages or to be like, "Hey, that's the time we talked about this." Like
Mm-hmm.
I wonder too. I'll probably go back to school and finish. I want to be a teacher, so I'll probably be teaching hopefully 10 years from now.
Oh, you'd be a
A lot
great
of
teacher.
speedrunners are teachers.
I could
Oh,
see
I
you,
appreciate
I
that.
could see you being a history teacher.
Oh, it's funny you say that because like I have a passion for history and like in social, even social political history, and
Mm-hmm.
but like I always thought I would be a math teacher, and I have a passion for that too. But like some of my favorite classes were social studies, like related classes. So it's funny you said that, but I don't know how many years I want to go back to college for.
Yeah, college. I don't plan on going there myself, to be honest.
It's a smart thing. I'm in a lot of not a lot of debt, but like I'm in more debt than I want to be because of student loans, and it's just hasn't really got me anywhere at this point. But when I finish, I'm gonna do it through a state school, so it's I got support, and obviously, if you work in the state, you get support from the state because the state wants you to live and work here. So,
Mm. Yeah,
but
so finally, okay. We've been like ending it, but we're not ending it. So, got any last
I'm all set.
words?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say thank you so much, and best wishes. You feel free to message me anytime you have any questions, or I'm always down to talk. I,
Oh
I
yeah,
love
man.
socializing, like in small groups and one on one. That's kind of how I do best.
Well,
But,
I hope to catch more of your streams. I haven't really been able to much, but I try.
no, I appreciate that. Yeah, anytime. Even just lurking, I love my lurkers.
hmm Anyways, guess that'll do it. So, what do you have to say?
um, just thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your night.
You too, man. All right. Peace.
Take care. Thank you. Peace.